Welcome to episode 11 of my Watercolor Florals series. Today we are painting beautiful sunflowers, so let's get started. Just a quick reminder before we begin, if you would like to print the sunflower painting that you see in today's video, there are high-res JPEGs of my artwork available on Patreon. You can check it out after the video. Let's talk supplies really quick. I am using this little watercolor pocket palette from Mungyo. Super good quality paints for the price. I always love painting with this palette. Then I have two paint brushes here. The first is a synthetic round. I'll use that for most of my mixing because mixing is really hard on your brushes. And then I have this animal hair number 4 round brush that I'm loving. This brush is very good quality. It cost me about $25 and it has truly improved the quality of my painting. I also have 2 glasses of clean water and some paper towel for blotting. And then for paper today, I am using 140-pound hot pressed paper. It's very, very smooth and it's on a block, which means all the pages are sort of glued together and that means it's stretched while you're working with it. Okay, so let's have a talk about sunflowers and their shape. I think the key thing that you need to get right is that the sunflower has a large stamen and the petals are relatively short compared to that stamen. So we're going to draw a couple here and talk about that. So large stamen, smaller petals, and then what I like to do is have some of these petals sort of flip inwards facing the stamen because these petals are quite floppy. So it wouldn't make sense to just have them all going straight out like a cartoon. Some of them need to sort of go this way and that. And so that's what I'm practicing here in pencil. These petals on the side are going to come in towards the right or they'll flop towards the left. And as I draw it, I'm able to sort of understand it, get a sense for how I want to paint these. And then I'm going to come over here to my hot pressed paper and I'm going to draw the big round stamen and I'm going to have those petals flopping onto the stamen in the same spot as my sketch. Now, if I erase the perimeter of the circle in that area, so I know I want to have these petals flopping onto the stamen on the left-hand side, I'll erase the line and I'll just have the stamen there, a nice pencil circle with a little bit missing where the petals will eventually be. I think this is going to make sense when we start painting, but I just basically want the 3 circles with a little bit missing, and then I'll get mixing up my paints because now I'm ready to put paint to paper. I've done my planning. I've mixed up a nice golden yellow and a really rich, very, very rich dark brown. So with those colors mixed, we are going to start painting and I'm going to start with the brown center, the stamen. Now this is a really dark brown. I find mixing purple into your browns really helps to give a dark, rich color. So that's what I've done here and I'm just moving the paint around. I've got lots of water. I want the paint to seep out into this wet area. I've left a few highlights there just very naturally wherever the brush doesn't hit. And you might have noticed already that I forgot to leave that space for my petals. My petals are supposed to flop onto the stamen and since they're light yellow, I'm trying to leave an open space. So what I'm going to do to fix that is I will make the stamen a little larger. So by making it larger, by extending the circle, I can still have a little bit of negative space on the right-hand side. Let's try this again, shall we? So I've got a nice wet paint. I'm letting the brown just seep out into this circular area. I want some areas a little darker, some a little lighter, maybe a few little highlights, little areas of negative space. And then you can see on this one, I managed to leave that space open where the petals will sit. And the same thing for the third one here. I'll leave a nice bit of negative space for the yellow petals to flop onto the dark brown stamen. So next we're going to move on to the petals. I've taken that nice golden yellow and I'm using the belly of the brush. I'm dragging that brush across the page and I am just making these petal shapes. They're all a little different. Oops, had a little too much paint there. They're all a little different. Some are large, some are a little thinner, and they all sort of end in a funny broken way. I want them to be very perfectly imperfect and very natural looking. So as I drag that brush across the page, sometimes I'll wiggle wiggle it a little bit so that I get these curving edges. Sometimes I'll just pull it straight out. And yeah, I'm going all the way around slowly and thoughtfully. And as I go, I come to the point where I've left that negative space, and those petals are going the opposite direction. So instead of sort of falling out away from the center of the flower, they are going in towards the brown. And I'm just flipping this around here so that I can pull the brush towards myself as I finish the petals on the other side. But you can see kind of what I meant this whole time by having those petals facing different directions. It gives a nice movement and life to your flower, and it's really not that big of a deal to plan it out ahead of time. Now we're going to move on to the second flower here. And by the way, I waited a little bit in between doing the stamens and doing the petals, just because I didn't want a really wet brown area, because I didn't want a ton of brown paint to run into the yellow petals. And you can see I've got a little bit of color sort of seepage there on the first one, but that's okay, I'll fix that up later. That's not a big deal. So I'm going around the second flower. All the petals are facing outward except for these few that are sort of facing in. They're falling in towards the center, and some of the petals are almost brown, some are very light, some are dark golden yellow. So there's a lot of color variation within the petals of a single flower, and I think that helps to make the sunflower look a little more realistic. So think about just adding a touch of that brown to the yellow as you paint some of those petals. You want some of them to be a different color, and that is going to give you a flower that really pops and really looks like quite natural, I think. Now this last flower, I've got two areas that I've left white, so it actually has one or two petals flopping down onto the top of the stamen there, and so that kind of looks nice. You basically just have to put yellow wherever there's white space, and then I'm mixing a little more brown into my yellow paint because I want to warm it up and darken it slightly. And I'll come back to the first flower. The first one I painted has already dried enough that I'm able to use the tip of my round brush to add these little broken lines to add this beautiful detail to each petal. Now, if you paint very wet, if you tend to use a lot of water, just watch yourself and don't rush into doing this detail work. You want to be basically doing wet on dry at this point. That's going to give you all the control that you need to get this beautiful fine detail. So I'm detailing the petals, and then I'm also fixing up this area here where I had a little bit of the yellow bleed into the brown, and it lightened it in a way that was not pleasing and not what I wanted. So that's totally fine. I'll take a nice dark rich chocolate brown now, and I'll fill in, and that will also help to add some texture to the center of the flower. And I'm just doing this messy, almost stippling and just moving paint around and not overthinking it too much, because I do just want there to be some contrast there. I'm also filling in any area where I left negative space. You might have to fix up and sort of get the brown to touch the yellow so that there isn't that bit of negative space left when you're all finished. And you can see how this dark brown really makes the flowers pop. And the beautiful tiny line detailing on the petals is also a great detail. And this is a choice that I like to make. I tend to get quite detailed with my watercolors. You know, it's funny, I don't go for realism. I do very loose, fun florals, but I do like to achieve a certain element of detail, but you certainly don't have to do this. You could just have the brown stamens, the yellow petals, and you are good to go. You're all done. So it's up to you how much detail you want to add to your piece of art. I am continuing to add my nice rich golden brown to the petals, especially the edge of the petal near the stamen. That's getting a lot of shading, a lot of line shading, and I am almost done. Next, I want to move on, and I'm going to use a pencil to figure out where I want to place those stems. I also like to kind of sketch the leaves in, and even though I need to erase them before I paint, it gives me an idea of, okay, having some leaves on the right-hand side will help balance the whole piece out because I sort of have more negative space over there, so it gives me a little preview. Then I'll come in with a nice rich green paint. I do a very perfectly imperfect line for each stem. You can see some areas are thin and other areas are thick, and I just think that helps make a nice natural looking stem. And then for the leaves, I tend to just give myself a guiding line where the center of the leaf is, and then I'll do either a few sort of brush strokes to create some veining, or I'll just make like a messy puddle and sort of move the paint around until I feel like I've got a nice, very natural, very perfectly imperfect leaf shape, if that makes sense. So just moving that paint around to get some kind of shape that looks like a leaf. And I'm doing a very thin leaf, sort of a leaf that is on its side that the viewer cannot see very well, so that's sort of nice. And then I'll do another leaf here where you are seeing just the side profile of that curving leaf. Now, sunflower leaves can be much bigger. I sort of decided, well, the leaves at the top near the flower are a bit smaller, so that's what I'm painting. I'll add a little bit of darker paint into that puddle wet area. That's my go-to for painting leaves, just sort of darkening each end. And then as those begin to dry, so I've let them dry maybe 10 minutes, then I come back in with a dark, dark green on the tip of my brush, and I just do this very thin veining. And then I tend to bleed the veining lines out a little bit. I'll get like a translucent green paint and just smear it a bit so that the lines don't look too harsh. They look natural. I did one more leaf and I did it very, very light green, but I'll still add some lines to it. And then I need that third stem for the third flower. And with that, I am all done. That is my sunflower painting. This was really fun for me. I had never painted sunflowers before, so I practiced a bit, and this was sort of the style I came up with. I hope you like it. And I hope that you'll hit that subscribe button because there is lots of content like this, 2 videos a week now, so make sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Head to Patreon to get your art print, and I will see you soon with a new tutorial.